All right, thank you, M Club, for setting this all up. Thanks for inducting us in. Thank you, Scott and Bree, for sending all the information, getting us on flights and all that stuff. Coach Mitchell, you're going to be very hard to follow up. I was joking around over here. I'm glad they gave us the M Club, and they can't take it away now after the speech. So I'm from the state of Minnesota. I grew up. Lacrosse is very much an out east sport. 90% of the colleges that are in the NCAA are New York, Philly, that area. So growing up in Minnesota, I was a big hockey player. So it's not a big lacrosse hotbed. And so growing up playing hockey, lacrosse was always kind of that second sport. I grew up playing baseball a little bit, and it was just too slow. And so I switched over to lacrosse, and reluctantly, I kind of eventually realized that lacrosse was something I wanted to do in my future. And I was looking at colleges, and I remember Marquette came up as in an email that my mom brought up. And I was like, oh, Marquette, is that in Michigan or somewhere in New York? Yeah, no thanks. But I'm so thankful that I wasn't as good as I thought I was, and I didn't have as many options as I was hoping. So Marquette, it came down to a couple different schools, and I remember on my visit, High Point University and Marquette was the two programs that I was looking at. And Marquette was a brand new program, just like High Point. And High Point, on our visit, they gave you ice cream, and every building, the grass is perfect, everything. And Amplo brought me in, he's the head coach at the time, and said, hey, do you want somewhere where they're just going to hand you ice cream, or do you want to earn it? And that was kind of what weirdly sold me on Marquette. And so, yeah, I'm so grateful that I made that choice. And honestly, I think it was kind of that same thing. I always joked around, we were kind of the island of misfit toys. Marquette being a brand new program, we didn't have a lot of high recruits. So it was either guys who were transferring in from other schools, guys who were just trying to get their shot. And I think that was a big reason we found success. Again, when I got here, it was its second year in existence. And the first year, there were some ups and downs. They played some decent games, but I think they won maybe 2 or 3. And so going into it, it was just kind of like we were always kind of fighting just to compete. And I think that was another big piece of it Amplo brought to us. And I think everyone just wanted to earn a spot. When I came here, I would have never guessed that I would ever be up here speaking. I was just hoping to make a contribution to the team. And after a few years, we won, I think it's 4th year in the program's history. We beat #1 Denver, they were #1 in the country at the time, who had just always whooped us. And so we won our first Big East championship in 2016. And then in 2017, we followed it up again after losing 17 seniors. So it was kind of 2 back-to-back years where we kind of finally established the program, and now I think it's taken off, and they're doing great. A couple big people I want to thank. First of all, Danielle Josetti, Mike Broker. Thank you for taking a risk on bringing lacrosse to the Midwest. Again, probably was an easy choice. Again, thank you guys so much. It means a lot. Thank you, Katie Samet, AKA the Fixer. She would basically fix all of our classes to make sure that we could get to practice, do whatever we needed to, but then also take care of everything in the classroom. I want to thank Todd and Nate for all the work they put in and helped us in the weight room and set a high standard both on and off the field. Aaron During, as much as I didn't want to go see him, because that meant I was injured, I tried to avoid him like the plague, but keep getting us out and playing every game, that was super important. And then Amplo and Brundage and Stimmel. Amplo and Brundage are no longer here. They're moved on to different schools, but they mean the world to me. And I think they were great mentors and leaders, and things I learned here at Marquette, I still take on and use today. And then Stimmel, he's the head coach now here. He was also an awesome mentor. And then finally, I want to thank my teammates. Liam, Jake, BJ, they're some of the most competitive people I've ever met in my life, and they've only pushed me to be better. And then finally, I want to thank my family, mom and dad. Thanks for the hours and hours you spent taking me to practice, spending money, just to be able to play the sports and follow my dreams. And then thank you for my wife for taking care of everything and setting all this up for us. So thank you. What an honor.